For decades, the story of the British military has been one of slow, quiet decline. Budget cuts, dwindling numbers, a fading echo of an empire's former glory. The world looked on and frankly a lot of people wrote them off. This wasn't a sudden collapse, but a gradual, almost imperceptible erosion of power that started in the post-colonial era. After the sun finally set on the British Empire, the military, once the largest and most powerful in the world, seemed to shrink with it. The Cold War saw the UK transition to a more specialized role within NATO, but even then the trend was downward. Successive governments, facing domestic pressures, prioritized social spending over defense, leading to a series of strategic reviews that consistently cut the size and scope of the armed forces. The famous Royal Navy, which once ruled the waves, saw its fleet reduced. The British Army, known for its professionalism and a history of winning battles, shrank to its smallest size in centuries. The Royal Air Force, the inheritor of the legendary few of the Battle of Britain, saw its once vast squadrons of aircraft reduced to a more modest, though highly capable, force. This long period of contraction created a narrative of a once great military now relegated to a supporting role on the world stage. It's a narrative that many have come to accept as fact. But while the world was focused on the headlines and the troop numbers, a seismic shift was happening behind the scenes. An almost unthinkable transformation. This wasn't a sudden decision, but a response to a new, more dangerous world. The integrated operating concept, launched in 2020, marked a significant turning point, recognizing that the world had entered an era of persistent competition. This new strategic vision put multi-domain integration and persistent engagement at the heart of UK defense planning. It was a clear signal that the old ways were no longer enough. The UK, historically a sea power, began to adapt its military to a new kind of warfare, one that is not confined to a single domain, but fought across land, sea, air, space and cyberspace. This is a complete re-evaluation of Britain's place in the world and its role in an era of renewed great power competition. Because today the UK isn't just modernizing its armed forces, it's undergoing a shocking military comeback. And it's doing so with a new, uncompromising attitude. This is not the Britain you think you know. This is a nation rearming for a more dangerous world. And it's doing so with an ambitious, long-term plan to ensure its national security and maintain its position as a global leader. It's a return to a more muscular foreign policy, backed by a military that is once again becoming a force to be reckoned with. This is about more than just numbers. It's about a cultural and strategic shift. Let's talk about the cold, hard numbers. As of April 2025, the UK Armed Forces stood at over 180,000 personnel. But here's the twist. This isn't just about quantity, it's about quality. While the total number has slightly decreased since 2012, there's a historic commitment to increase defense spending to 2.6% of GDP by 2027, with an ambition to reach 3% in the next parliament. This is the largest sustained increase in defense spending since the end of the Cold War. This isn't just about throwing money at the problem, it's about a total reinvention. The British military is built around a powerful triad: the British Army, the Royal Navy, and the Royal Air Force. But their old ways of fighting are being replaced by a new, integrated, and lethal doctrine. It's called multi-domain integration. This means they're training to fight in sync across land, sea, air, and cyberspace all at once. The goal? To be so fast, so unpredictable, and so devastatingly effective that adversaries can't keep up. The British Army, rebuilding the war machine. The British Army is undergoing its most significant modernization in a generation. They're not just getting new kit, they're getting a whole new identity. The core of their ground fighting power will be a new modernized warfighting division by 2030, built around 3 new armored vehicles. The upgraded Challenger 3 main battle tanks. The Ajax armored vehicles, a new family of reconnaissance vehicles. The Boxer mechanized infantry vehicles. This isn't just a shopping list of new toys. It's a complete overhaul of how the Army operates, designed to create a more agile, lethal force capable of fighting a high-intensity war. They're also exploring advanced artillery systems like the Archer and the RCH-155. But a military isn't just about tanks and artillery. It's about the people inside them. The Army is making a massive push for recruitment, even offering a way for former soldiers to rejoin. And they're building a new Ranger regiment, similar to the US Army's Green Berets, to focus on special operations and working with Allied forces. The Royal Navy, submarines and sea power. The Royal Navy has always been the steel backbone of British power, and that's not changing. The UK is the only European nation to declare its nuclear forces to NATO, and that commitment is unshakable. The government is investing over £31 billion in the new Dreadnought-class nuclear submarines to safeguard this deterrent for generations to come. But it's not just about nukes. The Navy is stepping up its game with a renewed focus on innovation. In addition to its 2 Queen Elizabeth-class aircraft carriers, it is investing in uncrewed warships and a fleet of stealth submarines. It's a move to a next-gen war-fighting readiness. The UK's Carrier Strike Group, with its F-35 fighter jets, is already at the highest tiers of readiness. The Royal Air Force, from air power to space power. The Royal Air Force is not just getting new fighter jets, it's leading the charge in next-generation warfare. One of the most ambitious projects is the Tempest, a 6th-generation fighter jet that will feature AI-powered warfare and be part of the future combat air system. The RAF is also at the forefront of the UK's push into the final frontier, space. The UK has established a new Joint Space Command and is investing £1.5 billion in space-related capabilities. This is about more than just satellites. It's about a new domain of war, and the UK is making sure it has a leading role. The UK is the only European operator of the C-17 Globemaster, which offers vital air mobility for NATO allies, the special forces and the human factor. But perhaps the most terrifying part of this comeback is what you can't see. The UK's special forces, including the SAS and the Special Boat Service, SBS, are legendary for a reason. These are not just soldiers, they are the ultimate expression of British military excellence. They are tasked with counter-terrorism, hostage rescue, and covert operations. The government has a strict policy of not commenting on UK special forces, but their reputation speaks for itself. Their training is considered one of the hardest in the world, and only a small percentage of applicants make the cut. The UK isn't just focusing on technology and hardware, it's investing in the people who operate them. The new defence industrial strategy will invest £182 million into strengthening the workforce and equipping the defence industry with the skills it needs. This is about creating a war-fighting readiness culture from the top down. The global role, leading from the front. The UK isn't doing this alone. As a founding member and a leading European ally of NATO, the UK's commitment to the alliance is unshakable. The UK leads the land component of NATO's highest readiness force and contributes to every NATO operation and mission. The UK is using its revitalized military to project power and influence globally. The British Army is deployed in locations from Estonia to Brunei, engaging in peacekeeping, counter-terrorism, and training exercises. The country's new defense policy, NATO First, emphasizes the security of the Euro-Atlantic as its core priority. A new era. The world has changed. The threats are more complex, more diffuse, and more dangerous than they have been in a generation. The UK has recognized this and is responding with a massive, strategic, and unrelenting transformation. This is a comeback story for the ages, a nation shaking off the rust of history and revealing a core of steel. It's a Britain that is secure at home and strong abroad. Hit that like button if you were shocked by the scale of this military resurgence. Subscribe if you want more deep dives into the world's most powerful armed forces. And remember, the quiet lion is often the most dangerous.